I knew something was up. I knew it. Those words echoed through my mind as I sat in the cramped office of Private Eye's detective agency, my hands trembling slightly as I held my phone. The same phone that contained messages Mary thought I'd never see. My name is Andrew Collins. I'm 23 years old. I sell cars for a living. And until 3 weeks ago, I believed I was in love with an honest woman. I was wrong. But what Mary didn't know, what she couldn't possibly have anticipated, was that I wasn't the naive fool she thought I was anymore. Not after tonight. Not after everything I'd learned. The cameras don't lie. The surveillance footage doesn't fabricate. And the heart, once broken open, sees with a clarity that love's blindness prevents. Part 1. The unraveling. The beginning was perfect, isn't it always? I met Mary Brickett 2 years ago at a friend's barbecue in the suburbs. She was 19 then, fresh-faced, working as a secretary at a law firm downtown. I was 21, newly promoted to senior sales associate at Premium Auto Sales, finally making decent money, finally feeling like I had my life together. She laughed at my jokes. She touched my arm when we talked. She looked at me like I was the only person in the room worth seeing. For the first year and a half, everything was golden. We'd drive to the coast on weekends, her hand in mine, the radio playing songs that would become our songs. We talked about the future, vaguely at first, then with increasing specificity. A house, maybe kids someday. The whole American dream, wrapped up in blonde hair and green eyes that I could lose myself in. I wasn't perfect, I knew that. I worked long hours, sometimes 6 days a week. The car business is demanding, and if you want to make real money, you don't say no to customers calling at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. But I thought she understood. I thought we were building something together. The changes started small. 6 months ago, I noticed Mary checking her phone more frequently. Not just checking, hiding it. She'd angle the screen away when a notification came in. She'd excuse herself to take calls, walking into another room, her voice dropping to a murmur I couldn't quite hear. "Who was that?" I'd ask when she returned. "Just my mom," she'd say. Or Sarah, her friend from work. Or a wrong number. Always a plausible explanation. Always delivered with that same sweet smile that had made me fall for her in the first place. Then the intimacy changed. I'm not just talking about sex, though that changed too. It became mechanical, perfunctory. But it was more than that. It was the way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her hand while watching TV. The way her eyes would drift when I talked about my day. The way she'd find excuses not to hang out with my friends. "Your friends are immature," she'd say. "I just don't fit in with them." I tried to be understanding. I was 23, working a demanding job, trying to navigate a serious relationship for the first time in my life. Maybe I was doing something wrong, maybe I needed to change. That's what she wanted me to think. The incident on Highway 35 should have been my wake-up call. We'd been at my friend Jake's place for a game night. Nothing crazy, just pizza, beer, video games. But Mary had been irritable all evening, checking her phone constantly, sighing whenever I laughed at one of Jake's stupid jokes. "Can we go?" she asked around 9 p.m. "It's early," I said. "We just got here a couple hours ago." Her jaw tightened. "I want to leave." "Give me another hour," I suggested. "Jake's been talking about showing me this new game he got." "Fine." She stood abruptly. "Stay. I'll call an Uber." I followed her out to the car, trying to smooth things over. She got in the passenger seat, arms crossed, staring straight ahead. I started the engine, pulled out of the driveway, merged onto Highway 35. The fight started 2 miles down the road. "You always do this," she said. "Do what?" "Choose them over me. Your stupid friends. Your immature friends who still play video games like they're teenagers." "Mary, we're 23. We practically are teenagers." "Wrong thing to say." She hit my arm. Not hard, but unexpected enough that I swerved slightly. "Jesus, Mary. Stop it." She hit me again. "You don't care about me. You never care about what I want. Stop." I grabbed her wrist gently, keeping my other hand on the wheel. "We're on the highway. You're going to cause an accident." That's when she opened the door. The wind rushed in, loud and violent. The car was doing 65 miles per hour. The concrete median was a blur of grey to our left. And all I could think was, she's going to die. She's going to jump, and she's going to die. I released her wrist and grabbed her belt loop, yanking her back into the seat. Her hand scraped against the road as I pulled the door shut, and she screamed. A high, piercing sound that cut through the roar of the highway. I pulled over, shaking. "What the hell is wrong with you?" She was cradling her hand, crying. "You hurt me. I saved your life. You grabbed me. You were violent." I stared at her, comprehension slowly dawning. "You opened the door. You tried to jump out of a moving car. Because you wouldn't listen to me." When we got back to her parents' house, she still lived with them. Something that should have been a red flag but wasn't. She went straight to her mother. I heard snippets of the conversation through the door. "He grabbed me, wouldn't let me leave. My hand." I knocked. Mary's mother, Patricia, opened the door with an expression I'd never seen before. Suspicion, disgust. "I think you should go, Andrew." "Mrs. Brickett, that's not what happened. Mary showed me her hand. It's bruised. Because she tried to jump out of my car on the highway." Patricia's eyes narrowed. "That's ridiculous. Why would she do that?" I looked past her at Mary, who was sitting on the couch, her injured hand dramatically displayed. She met my eyes for just a moment, and I saw something there that chilled me. Calculation. She'd planned this. The fight, the door, the injury. She'd created a narrative where I was the villain and she was the victim. But why? That question haunted me for 3 weeks. I apologized, even though I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Mary accepted with a martyred sigh. Things went back to normal, or what passed for normal in our increasingly dysfunctional relationship. But I couldn't let it go. The question gnawed at me. Why would she do that? Then I remembered something my sales manager, Carl, always said. When people act crazy, there's usually a reason. Find the reason, and suddenly the crazy makes sense. So I started looking for the reason. Part 2. The investigation. I found Private Eye's detective agency, through a Google search at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night. Mary was asleep beside me. She'd stayed over at my apartment, a rare occurrence these days. I lay awake, listening to her breathe, wondering who she was texting when she thought I wasn't looking. The website was straightforward. Suspecting infidelity? We can help. Discreet, professional, licensed investigators. I filled out the contact form. By 9 a.m., I had a call from Joey Greco, the lead investigator. Mr. Collins, you filled out our questionnaire last night. You mentioned concerns about your girlfriend's behavior. Yeah. I was in my car, on my lunch break, parked behind the dealership where no one could hear. I think she might be cheating on me. What makes you think that? I told him everything. The phone calls, the distance, the Highway 35 incident. Joey was quiet for a moment. That last part, the door opening, that's concerning behavior beyond just infidelity. I know. Mr. Collins, I want to be straight with you. If we take this case and we find evidence of cheating, it's going to hurt. A lot of clients think they want the truth, but when they get it, I need to know. I interrupted. I've been faithful, honest. I deserve to know if she's doing the same. All right, let's set up a meeting. Joey's office was exactly what you'd expect from a private detective agency. Modest, functional, with file cabinets lining one wall and a desk that had seen better decades. Joey himself was in his 40s, graying at the temples, with the kind of tired eyes that said he'd seen this story play out 1,000 times. Before we start, he said, I need to ask you some questions. They're going to be personal, and you might not like them, but they're necessary. Okay? Are you ever violent with Mary? No. The Highway 35 incident, I grabbed her belt loop to keep her from jumping out of a moving car. That's not violence. That's trying to prevent someone from killing themselves. Joey nodded, making notes. Does Mary have any reason to be afraid of you? No. The question stung, but I understood why he was asking. I've never raised a hand to her, never threatened her. The worst we've had is arguments, normal couple stuff. Okay, now why do you think she's cheating? I laid it out. The timeline, the behavioral changes, the phone secrecy. Here's what we'll do, Joey said. We'll put surveillance on Mary for 1 week. We'll document where she goes, who she meets with, what she does. If there's another man, we'll find him. If there isn't, he shrugged. Then maybe the problem is something else entirely. How much? He quoted me a price. It was steep, nearly a month's commission. But I'd been saving for an engagement ring. I figured this was a better investment. Let's do it, I said. Investigation day 1. The revelation. The call came at 8:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Andrew, this is Joey. We have something. Are you somewhere you can talk? I was at home, watching a game, but I muted it immediately. Yeah. What did you find? A man arrived at Mary's house about an hour ago. Black Jeep Wrangler. He knocked on the door and she let him in immediately. No surprise, no hesitation. They left together 20 minutes ago. We're following them now. My hands went cold. Where are they going? Looks like a restaurant, upscale Italian place downtown. They're walking in now, arm in arm. Arm in arm. I'd asked Mary to go to that same restaurant 2 months ago for our anniversary. She'd said it was too expensive, that we should save our money. Stay on them, I said. I want to know everything. Andrew, you need to prepare yourself. Just tell me when you know more. I sat in my apartment for the next 3 hours, staring at my phone. The game played silently on the TV. I didn't see any of it. At 11:30 p.m., Joey called again. They're back at her house. He walked her to the door. There was a kiss, a long one. Then he left. Did you get his license plate? Yeah, we're running it now. We'll have an ID by morning. I thanked him and hung up. Then I sat in the dark and tried to figure out when everything had gone wrong. Investigation day 2, identity confirmed. His name is Radam Benson. Joey told me the next afternoon. 26 years old, works as a personal trainer at Elite Fitness downtown. Single, no criminal record. Lives in an apartment complex about 3 miles from Mary's house. A personal trainer, of course. How long have they been seeing each other? That's what we're trying to determine. We've pulled Mary's phone records. Don't ask how. And there are regular calls between them going back approximately 14 months. 14 months. I'd been with Mary for 2 years. She'd been seeing him for more than half of that time. There's more, Joey said. Last night after Benson left, we monitored her phone. She called you at 11:47 p.m. I remembered that call. She'd been sweet, affectionate, asking about my day, telling me she loved me. She called Benson again at 12:03 a.m. Joey continued. The conversation was similar in nature to the one she had with you. She used the same script. Essentially, yes. I felt something crack inside me. Not my heart. That would come later. This was something else. The illusion, the belief that what we had was real, that she loved me, that we were building a future together, all of it. Gone. Keep watching them, I said. I want to know everything. Investigation day 3, the walk. Mary and Radham took her dog for a walk that evening. A white poodle named Princess that I'd bought her for her 20th birthday. The footage showed them walking hand in hand, laughing at something Radham said. They stopped at a street corner while the dog did its business. And then Radham pulled Mary into his arms. Under the dim glow of the street light, they kissed. Deeply, passionately, without any of the hesitation or distance that had characterized my interactions with Mary for the past 6 months. When they pulled apart, I could read Radham's lips on the video. Come back to my place. Mary shook her head, smiling. Not tonight. Soon. They kissed again, and then Mary walked back to her house, the dog trotting beside her. I watched the footage 3 times. The 3rd time, I noticed something. Mary's expression as she walked away from Radham. It wasn't love. It wasn't happiness. It was satisfaction, like she'd just closed a particularly good deal. Investigation day 4, the phone call. The surveillance team recorded a phone conversation between Mary and me that evening. I'd called to ask if she wanted to grab dinner. That's so sweet, babe. Her voice came through, warm and genuine sounding. I'd love to, but I have to work late. Rain check? After we hung up, she immediately called Radham. Hey, you free? I'm all yours tonight. They met at a liquor store. The footage showed Radam placing his hand on Mary's backside as they walked in. She laughed, swatted it away playfully, then let him do it again. They bought a bottle of wine and drove to his apartment. The surveillance team waited outside for 4 hours. When Mary finally emerged, it was 2:30 a.m. Her hair was messed up, her makeup smudged. Radam walked her to her car, kissed her goodnight, then watched as she drove away. Joey showed me the footage the next morning. "I think we have enough," he said gently. "The question is, what do you want to do with this information?" I stared at the screen, at the frozen image of Mary and Radam in their goodbye kiss. "I want to confront them," I said. "Are you sure? Some clients prefer to just end the relationship quietly. I'm sure." Joey studied me for a long moment. "Okay. But there are rules. No violence. No threats. This is about getting the truth and getting closure. Can you agree to that?" "I can. Because, Andrew, I've seen men in your position lose control. And I can't let that happen. For your sake, as much as theirs." "I understand." "All right." Joey pulled out his phone. "Our surveillance team says Mary and Radam are at her house right now. Her parents are out of town for the weekend. If you want to do this, now would be the time." My heart was pounding. Let's go. Part 3. The confrontation. The drive to Mary's house took 15 minutes. Joey drove, one of his camera operators in the back seat. I sat in the passenger seat, my hands clenched into fists, trying to control my breathing. "Remember," Joey said, as we parked 3 houses down from Mary's. "We're here for the truth. Whatever happens, stay calm. Don't give them ammunition to use against you." I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. We approached the house. The black Jeep was parked in the driveway. Radam's car, bold as brass, right where anyone could see it. The front door was unlocked. I pushed it open and walked in. They were on the couch. Mary and Radam sitting close, his arm around her shoulders. They were watching TV, some comedy show, laughing at something on the screen. For a moment, they didn't notice me. For a moment, I got to see what my girlfriend looked like when she was truly happy, truly relaxed. She'd never looked like that with me. Not in the past 6 months, anyway. "Hey, Mary," I said. She jumped up like I'd electrocuted her. The color drained from her face. "Andy? What are you doing here?" Radam stood too, positioning himself slightly in front of Mary, protective. "Who the hell are you?" "I'm Andrew," I said, my voice eerily calm. "Mary's boyfriend. Or am I?" "Andy, I can explain," Mary started. "Can you?" I turned to Joey, who was filming. "Because I'd love to hear this explanation." Radam's eyes widened as he noticed the camera. "Whoa, what is this?" "This," Joey said smoothly, "is documentation. We're from Private Eye's detective agency. We've been conducting surveillance on behalf of our client, Andrew Collins, who suspected his girlfriend of infidelity." Mary's face went from pale to red. "You've been spying on me?" "I've been trying to understand," I said, "why my girlfriend has been lying to me for over a year." "A year?" She laughed, but it sounded forced. "Andy, you're being paranoid." "We have video," Joey interrupted. of you and Mr. Benson here at restaurants, holding hands, kissing, spending 4 hours at his apartment 3 nights ago. The silence that followed was deafening. Radham looked at Mary. You said you guys were broken up. We're not broken up, I said. In fact, she told me she loved me 2 nights ago, right around the time she was planning to see you. Is this true? Radham asked Mary. She looked between us, trapped. It's complicated. It's really not, I said. You've been dating both of us, playing both of us, and I want to know why. Andy. Why, Mary? My voice cracked. Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Because I've been going crazy for 6 months trying to figure out what I did to make you pull away. You didn't do anything, she said quietly. Then why? Because, she looked down, because Radha makes me feel things you don't. The words hit like a physical blow, but I forced myself to stay standing, stay calm. Okay, I said, then why not just break up with me? She didn't answer. I'll tell you why, I continued. Because I'm stable, I have a good job, good income. I was talking about buying a house, about marriage, and Radham here. I looked at him. He's exciting, he's new, he's the fantasy while I'm the reality. That's not fair, Mary protested. Isn't it? I pulled out my phone, pulled up our text messages. Here, December 15th. Can't wait to marry you someday, babe. You're my forever. You sent that to me at 11:43 p.m. Want to know what you sent to Radham at midnight? Her eyes went wide. See you tomorrow night. Wear something I can take off easily. I looked up at her. Same night, Mary. You were planning a future with me and sleeping with him. Radham stepped back from Mary like she'd burned him. Jesus Christ, you're still with him? I was trying to figure things out. Mary's voice rose, defensive now. By lying to both of us? I asked. I never lied. You told him we were broken up. And I was going to... When? I shouted. The calm was breaking now, anger flooding in. When were you going to break up with me, Mary? When I'd served my purpose? When you'd bled me dry? Andy, please. I loved you, I said, and my voice broke completely. I would have done anything for you. I worked overtime to take you on nice dates. I bought you that dog. I was saving for a ring. She gasped. Andy, but it was never enough, was it? Because you didn't actually want me. You just wanted what I could give you. Mary's eyes filled with tears. That's not true. Prove it till I stepped closer. Tell me one thing you loved about me. Not my job, not my money, not what I could do for you. Tell me one thing about me that you actually loved. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Nothing came out. That's what I thought, I said. I turned to Radham. For what it's worth, man, you're being played too. She's probably got a third guy lined up already. Screw you, Radham spat. You don't know anything about us. I know she's been lying to you for a year. How long do you think it'll be before she gets bored and finds someone new? Radham looked at Mary. Is he right? Are you playing me? No, Radham, because in the parking lot earlier, you told your friend Sarah that this was just a bit of fun. I heard you. Mary's face went white. So which is it? Radham demanded. Am I the love of your life, or am I just entertainment? Both of you stop, Mary shouted. You don't understand. We understand perfectly, I said. You're a liar, and not even a good one. I turned to leave, and Joey followed with the camera. Behind us, I heard Mary start to cry. I heard Radham say, "I'm done with this," and the sound of his footsteps heading for the door. I didn't look back. Part 4, The Aftermath. We waited in the car for 20 minutes. Joey suggested we leave, but I wanted to see what would happen next. Radham came out first, got in his Jeep, and drove away without looking back. Mary came out 10 minutes later. She spotted our car and walked over, makeup streaked, eyes red. I rolled down the window. "Can we talk?" she asked. "What's left to say?" "I'm sorry, Andy, I'm so sorry." "For what? Getting caught?" "For hurting you." Her voice trembled. "You're right. You didn't deserve this." "No," I agreed. "I didn't. I don't know what's wrong with me," she continued. "I don't know why I did this. It's like I wanted everything. The security you gave me and the excitement he gave me. And I thought I could have both." "That's called being selfish, Mary." She flinched. "I know." "Do you love him?" She hesitated. "I don't know." "Did you ever love me?" Another hesitation. Longer this time. "I thought I did," she finally said. "In the beginning." I nodded slowly. "Well, at least you're being honest now. Andy, we're done, Mary. You know that, right? There's no coming back from this." "I know." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I know." "I hope you figure out what you want," I said. "But you're not going to figure it out with me." I rolled up the window. Joey drove away. Part 5. The processing. The first week was the hardest. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mary and Radham together. I saw her laughing with him, kissing him, being happy with him in ways she'd stopped being happy with me. I couldn't eat. Food tasted like ash. I couldn't focus at work. My sales numbers dropped for the first time in 2 years. My sales manager, Carl, pulled me aside on day 5. "Collins, what's going on with you?" I told him. "Not everything, but enough." He listened, nodding occasionally, and when I finished, he said, "My wife cheated on me 15 years ago when we'd been married for 3 years." I looked up in surprise. "Really?" "Really. Guy she worked with. I found out when I came home early one day and they were in our bed." He grimaced. "Worst day of my life." "What did you do?" "Screamed, threw things, made a complete ass of myself. Then I went to a bar, got drunk, and woke up in a jail cell because I'd punched a cop who tried to give me a ride home." "Jesus." "Yeah." Carl leaned back in his chair. Took me a long time to realize that my reaction, the anger, the violence, that wasn't about her. That was about me. About feeling powerless. "I didn't hit anyone," I said defensively. "I know, and I'm proud of you for that. But Andrew, you need to process this. Actually process it. Don't just bury it and pretend it didn't happen." "How?" "Therapy helped me. So did time. So did eventually forgiving her." "You forgave her?" "I did. Not right away, but eventually." He smiled slightly. "We just celebrated our 18th anniversary last month." I shook my head. "I don't think I could do that." "Maybe not. Maybe you're not supposed to. Every situation is different." He stood. "But don't let this define you. Don't let what she did turn you into someone bitter and angry. How do I avoid that? By choosing not to be. Every day. It's that simple and that hard. Week 2. The anger. The anger came in waves. I'd be driving to work, and suddenly I'd be furious, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Imaging all the things I should have said. Could have said. I'd be showing a customer a car, and I'd remember how Mary had loved test driving with me. How she'd laugh when I'd accelerate fast, and the memory would fill me with rage. I'd be at home watching TV, and I'd see a couple kiss on screen, and I'd have to turn it off before I threw something. Joey called to check in. How are you holding up? I'm angry, I admitted. That's normal. I want to hurt her, not physically, but I want her to feel what I felt. Also normal. But Andrew, listen to me. Revenge doesn't work. It doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you the same as her. So what am I supposed to do? Feel it. All of it. The anger, the hurt, the betrayal. Feel it and let it move through you. Don't act on it, just let yourself feel it. Oh, that sounds like therapy talk. It is. I've been in therapy for 10 years. Best decision I ever made. I considered that. Maybe I should try it. Yeah, Joey said. Maybe you should. Week 3. The sadness. The anger faded into something heavier. Sadness. Grief. I was mourning, I realized. Not just the relationship, but the future I'd imagined. The house we'd never buy. The kids we'd never have. The life we'd never build. All of it was gone. I found a therapist, Dr. Sharon Michaels, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. Tell me what happened, she said in our first session. I told her everything. When I finished, she said, "You know it's not your fault, right?" Logically, yes. But it feels like it must be. Like if I'd been better, more attentive, more exciting. Stop. She held up a hand. Mary's choices are her responsibility, not yours. You can't control another person's actions. But I could have. No, you couldn't have. Because the problem wasn't you. The problem was her inability to be honest about what she wanted. So what do I do now? You grieve, you heal, you learn, and eventually you move forward. So in that order? She smiled, usually simultaneously, actually. But yes, that's the general process. Week 4. The texts. Mary texted me at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. I miss you. I stared at my phone for 10 minutes before responding. You miss the idea of me, the security, the stability. You don't miss me. That's not true. Then tell me one thing you miss about me specifically. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Your laugh. That's generic. The way you made me coffee in the morning. So you miss being served. Andy, please, I'm trying. Try with someone else, Mary. We're done. Can't we at least be friends? I almost laughed. No. She didn't text again after that. Month 2. The rumors word got around. Our mutual friends started choosing sides. Jake called me. Dude, I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. Thanks. For what it's worth, I never liked her. You could have mentioned that. You were happy. Or I thought you were. I didn't want to ruin it. Yeah, well, it was ruined anyway. Sarah, Mary's friend, the one from work, sent me a Facebook message. Mary told me what happened. I just want you to know, I had no idea. She never said anything to me about Radham. It's fine. It's not fine. What she did was awful. You deserved better. Yeah, I did. I heard through the grapevine that Mary and Radham had tried to make it work for about 3 weeks before it fell apart. Apparently, the thrill of being caught had worn off, and without the secrecy, their relationship had nothing to sustain it. I felt a grim satisfaction at that news. Not quite Schadenfreude, but close. Month 3. The clarity. I woke up one morning and realized I hadn't thought about Mary in 2 days. Not consciously, anyway. She wasn't the first thing I thought about when I woke up. She wasn't the last thing I thought about before bed. I was healing. Dr. Michael smiled when I told her. That's progress. It still hurts, I admitted. But it's different now. Less sharp, more like an old bruise than a fresh wound. That's exactly what healing feels like, she said. The hurt doesn't disappear. It just becomes manageable. When does it go away completely? Maybe never. Maybe you'll always carry a little bit of this with you. But it'll change you, Andrew. The question is, how do you want it to change you? I thought about that. I want to be smarter, more careful, but not bitter, not cynical. That's a good goal, she said. How are you going to achieve it? I don't know yet. That's okay. You've got time to figure it out. Part 6. The lessons. Lesson 1. Trust your instincts. I should have known something was wrong months before I hired Joey. The signs were all there. I just didn't want to see them. In my next relationship, whenever that might be, I promised myself I'd pay attention to those gut feelings. Not in a paranoid way, but in a self-protective way. If something feels off, it probably is. Lesson 2. Communication is everything. Mary and I never talked about the real issues. When things started going wrong, we both just avoided it. I worked more. She pulled away. Neither of us addressed the elephant in the room. In my next relationship, I'd speak up, I'd ask questions, I'd demand honesty, and I'd give it in return. Lesson 3. You can't fix people. I'd spent months trying to figure out what I'd done wrong, how I could be better, how I could make Mary happy again. But the truth was, I couldn't make her anything. She had to want to be happy. She had to choose honesty. She had to decide what she wanted. And those were all choices she had to make for herself. I couldn't fix her. I could only fix me. Lesson 4. Sometimes endings are necessary. For weeks, part of me had held on to hope that maybe we could work it out. Maybe if we just talked, really talked, we could rebuild. But Dr. Michaels helped me understand. Some relationships aren't meant to be saved. Some endings are necessary for growth. Mary and I had run our course, and that was okay. Part 7. The rebirth. 6 months later. My sales numbers had not only recovered, they'd improved. I'd been promoted to sales team leader, managing 3 other salespeople. I'd started going to the gym, not obsessively, just regularly. It helped clear my head. I'd reconnected with old friends I'd neglected during my relationship with Mary. I'd even started dating again. Nothing serious yet. Just coffee dates, getting to know people without the pressure of trying to make it the one. One evening, I ran into Mary at a Starbucks. She was with another guy, tall, dark-haired, different from Radham. They were holding hands. She saw me at the same moment I saw her. We both froze. Then I smiled and waved. She blinked, surprised, then waved back tentatively. I got my coffee and left without saying anything. It felt good. Not triumphant, not bitter, just neutral. She was part of my past. She taught me painful lessons. But she didn't own my present or my future. 8 months later, I met someone. Her name was Jessica. She was 25, worked as a nurse at the local hospital, had a laugh that could light up a room. On our third date, I told her about Mary, the whole story. "Wow," she said, when I finished. "That's a lot." "Yeah, I wanted you to know upfront. I don't have trust issues, exactly, but I am cautious now." "That's understandable." She reached across the table and took my hand. "For what it's worth, I think you handled it really well. A lot of guys would have lost it completely." "I almost did." "But you didn't. That takes strength." "Or therapy," I joked. She laughed. "Hey, I'm a big fan of therapy. Everyone should go." We dated for 3 months before making it official. 6 months before I told her I loved her. A year before I started looking at rings. I took my time. Not because I didn't trust Jessica. She'd proven herself trustworthy in 100 small ways. But because I'd learned that rushing into things, building castles in the air before the foundation was solid, only led to pain. Part 8. The closure. 18 months after the confrontation, I got an email from Mary. The subject line was, "I owe you an apology." I almost deleted it. But curiosity got the better of me. "Andrew, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I wouldn't blame you if you deleted this without reading it. But I need to say some things, and I hope you'll give me the chance. First, I'm sorry. Truly, deeply sorry for what I did to you. There's no excuse for it. I was selfish, immature, and cruel. You deserved so much better. I've been in therapy for the past year. It's helped me understand some things about myself, why I did what I did, why I hurt you the way I did. I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to understand. I think I was terrified of commitment, of being locked down. You were talking about marriage, about a future, and instead of being honest about my fears, I sabotaged everything. I found someone exciting and new, and I told myself that I could have both, the security and the thrill. But that was a lie I told myself. What I did to you was unforgivable. I know that. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just asking you to know that I understand what I did, and I'm working to become a better person. I hope you're happy, Andrew. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Mary. I read the email 3 times, then I wrote back, "Mary, thank you for the apology. It means something to know that you understand what you did. I'm doing well. I've moved on. I hope you have too. I forgive you. Not because what you did was okay. It wasn't. But because holding on to anger was only hurting me. So I'm letting it go. I hope therapy helps. I hope you find what you're looking for. Take care of yourself. Andrew. I hit send, and then I closed my laptop and went to meet Jessica for dinner. 2 years after the confrontation. I'm 25 now. Jessica and I are engaged. The wedding is in 6 months. Sometimes, late at night, I think about Mary, about what we had, what we could have had if things had been different. But those thoughts don't hurt anymore. They're just thoughts, echoes of a past that no longer defines me. I learned something important from that whole experience. Betrayal doesn't have to destroy you. It can transform you if you let it. Mary taught me to trust my instincts, to demand honesty, to not settle for less than I deserve. She also taught me that I'm stronger than I thought, that I can survive heartbreak, that I can choose to become better rather than bitter. Those are lessons I'll carry for the rest of my life. Last week, I saw Mary one more time. She was at a coffee shop with the same dark-haired guy from Starbucks all those months ago. They looked happy. I was with Jessica, who was showing me pictures of wedding venues on her phone. Mary glanced up and saw me. Our eyes met. She smiled. A real smile, not forced or awkward. I smiled back. And in that moment, I realized I was completely, totally, genuinely over her. The fool's gold I'd been chasing, the illusion of love with Mary, had been replaced with something real, something solid. Jessica squeezed my hand. You okay? Yeah, I said, meaning it. I'm perfect. And I was. People ask me sometimes if I regret hiring the detective agency, if I wish I just ended things without knowing the truth. The answer is always no. Because knowing gave me closure. It gave me certainty. It allowed me to stop blaming myself, stop wondering what I could have done differently. Mary made her choices. I made mine. And in the end, both of us ended up where we needed to be. She's working on becoming a better person. I've already become one. That's not revenge. That's not bitterness. That's just life. Moving forward, learning, growing, and sometimes that's the best victory of all.